morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to talk about estimating it and measuring capacity in non-standard units. So for example, a non-standard unit would be this cup. There's no markings on it that tell us how much can go in here. It could be a cup, it could be a cup and a half. We don't know because there's no markings. It's a non-standard unit. Just like I would use any kind of a cup that doesn't have any measuring on it, it's a non-standard unit. So we're going to estimate how many cups fit in this pitcher. So I am going to think about that pitcher versus this cup, and I'm going to think, well, okay, my guess is it would be about 3 would be my guess. Let's see how close I am. I have some water. I'm going to fill it up with water. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Okay, so about 3 cups fill up my pitcher. That would be my estimate for this glass pitcher. Now, let's look at this mixing bowl. How many red cups do I think would fill up this mixing bowl? Well, let's see. Let me think about that. I think this one was about 3. So I'm going to look at the 2. Do you think this will be more or less? I think it's going to be more. I'm going to guess maybe it's a little wider because this is so narrow. I think this might have maybe, let me think, maybe 5 red cups worth of water. Whoops, let me bring this closer. Let me fill it up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I was pretty close. 5. Or maybe a little bit more, but my cups aren't perfect. So it's an estimate. About 5 would be my estimate. All right, now I'm going to put that aside. And let's go back over here. And let's do a little work together. A little practice. So your page in your workbook is page 127, and it's going to look a little bit like this. You're going to estimate about how many cups each real container holds. So this watering can, do you think it has 3 or 15? Well, they give you the answer. It's about 15. And what about this mixing bowl or a blender container? 8 or 2? You saw mine. These cups might be smaller, so my estimate would be about 8. What about this cup, coffee cup? 8 or 1? If you said 1, I think you're correct. This pitcher, well, you know it's going to be more than 1, so this would be a good estimate, right? What about this bucket? 2 or 20? Well, if that's 1, depends on that size, but I'm going to go with 20. And this thermos, probably about 5. It doesn't look as big like the big ones that carry 50. So let's talk it over. Andy uses a cup to fill a fishbowl. Carrie uses a pitcher to fill the same fishbowl. Who will fill their container more times? What do you think? A cup or a pitcher? Who's going to fill their container more times? Well, Andy, because he only has a cup. You saw my pitcher versus my cup, right? Let's look at the back. It's the same idea. Right, 1, 2, 3 to order the containers from the one that holds the least amount to the one that holds the most. Which one of these holds the least? The spoon, probably. Then the ladle, then the can. What about number 10? Probably the cup, then the watering can, then the bucket. Oh, this is interesting because that's narrow and skinny. I would guess the glass. I'm going to say the fishbowl, and then the pool. What about over here? Circle the container that is more reasonable to use to fill the container in the box. So which one's more reasonable? Well, you could fill it with both of them, but the pitcher's more reasonable because you don't have to fill it up as many times. And with over here, would the spoon or the cup be more reasonable to fill this dog bowl? Definitely the cup, because the spoon is so little. And finally, let's look at the challenge. Use real containers, predict how many cups will fill each, then measure to check your prediction. Well, I don't have this right now, or this that's empty, but my guess is most bottled water are 2 servings, so I think it's 2 cups. If you have this at home, you should try it. Now, milk, a gallon of milk is like 64 ounces, which would be about 8 cups. And I know that because I just know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. If there's 64 ounces, maybe there's more. Let me think about that. But that would be my prediction for milk. I think there's more, actually. I think it's maybe 64 is a liter. So it would be even more. So I'm going to say 16 cups of milk in a gallon. I'd have to look at that. But those are my predictions. You can test them at home to see if I was right or wrong. All right, boys and girls, no, we've got more to do, but this is your first part of our assignment today.